We have head UTSA women's basketball coach Karen Aston's weekly media availability the week of November 3rd, 2025. Roadrunners set to open the 25-26 season this Thursday at Texas Tech before playing at Houston on Saturday. Coach, if you could start us off with an opening statement, and then we'll open it up to questions using the raise hand function.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that it's basketball season already. It just seems like we train all summer, and then you get into fall and you get into training camp, and then all of a sudden it's here, and you blinked. And we're excited to play. Obviously, we have to wait till Thursday, but I think our group has had some scrimmages and gotten some playing time under their belt, and we're ready to play a real game. I think it's time.
Sean?
Coach, it's become harder and harder to schedule games across the country, and certainly when you have success, that makes it harder. But you have consistently put together a challenging schedule, always all Division I opponents, a number of Power 4 opponents. Why is that important to you?
I think it's important for a couple of reasons, Sean. One of them being that the players really enjoy playing competitive games. I think they enjoy being challenged. And I think that it's important to probably get tested on the road and at home, and it's important to kind of see what your weaknesses are and what your strengths are before you get to conference play. And then the obvious is really the opportunity to possibly get a road win or get a win against a Power 4 that could help you somewhere down the road with your net. I think we experienced that on the other side last year when, maybe just because of how the schedule fell and we had some return games and all of that. And I just didn't think that our net helped us. And we got in a situation where we didn't get an at-large bid, and you don't ever want to do that. You don't ever want your team to have the type of success that our team last year and leave it up to chance. So we're giving ourselves some opportunities, and I think the team looks forward to that.
Jerry?
Yeah, Coach, good morning. Thanks for joining us. I wanted to ask sort of a big picture question. Was going over just your year by year record here at UTSA, and tremendous growth since the year before you took over. The program was at 2 wins, and last year, you had the 26 wins and the conference title. And now that you have the new contract, the contract extension, I wondered what areas do you think you'd like to see this program continue to grow? Where do you want to take this program, and what are the areas where you want to see it grow?
Well, I mean, if this is a giant, big picture item, but I mean, obviously, I would love to see, a new arena one day, or some type of renovation to the Convocation Center, just because I think it would make a considerable difference down the road. However, short term, we're going to open up the new practice facility, and I think that's going to be a huge stride for both basketball programs, not just women, volleyball included. It's a game changer for us to have places to practice, at any point, and not have accommodation problems like we do right now. So I'm thankful that that's going to open up, and I think that enhances our programs. Big picture, I think there's a lot to that. I mean, you want to stay consistent with how your product looks. Our team is going to look a lot different as far as the people that are in the spots that, the starting spots, the people that come off the bench. Like, our team's going to look dramatically different because the players are different. But you hope that the style and the product stays the same. You hope that people enjoy watching our team play and watching our young ladies compete. So I think that's we talk about culture. It's an easy word to talk about, but it's hard to sustain sometimes, especially with the portal and having new teams just about every year. I didn't even anticipate our team being as new as it is this year, to be honest with you. We have some injuries. We have unexpected transfers that I didn't anticipate. So our team looks a little different, and you have to try to maintain a culture that goes along with that. So a playing style, a way of doing things. And so I hope that we can stay consistent with that and stay competitive. I think the last piece to being able to do that is continual fundraising. Jeff talks about it. I think every coach that sits down in the chair that I'm in right now is going to talk about that because it's the landscape that we live in. And so I think for us to be able to stay competitive in the league that we're in, we have to be competitive with rev share. And that's fundraising on everybody's part, including mine. I mean, we have to do whatever the job pertains to be able to bring players in here or retain players that make big leaps. I anticipate a couple of players this year making really big leaps, and for us to continue to stay competitive, we need to retain them. And so I think that stays in the forefront until something changes in the landscape.
Sean?
Coach, this is the second year you've kind of brought in a veteran to fill the point guard position, but you've also got some young talent at that position that can be grown as well. How are you feeling about your depth there at the point guard spot?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I tell Jamie all the time because, Coach Carey was our point guard coach, and I joke with her all the time. She leaves, and we have two at that spot, which we haven't really had. We've had one, and then maybe a combo, but we have two true point guards this year that I really like the way both of them play. I mean, obviously, Ariana has a wealth of experience, not only at the Division I level, but in our league. So she has that under her belt. She has to step up on Adriana just from that sense, but I absolutely love what I see in Adriana Robles. She is competitive. She approaches practice every day the way you're supposed to. She's ahead of the curve as far as that's concerned, and her IQ is really high. So the sky's the limit for that young lady.
Jerry?
Coach, the last time I was out at the exhibition game, you had a few players not available to play, but it seems like every time I've come out to campus to watch you guys this fall. I mean, one thing is a constant from my vantage point is just how hard and how seriously that Idara seems to be taking on the leadership. The way she practices and her leadership out there, the way she's talking. Just wanted to ask you about her growth as a player since she arrived, and taking on sort of the new role this year. And what do you expect from her?
I expect her to be who she is, and I think that's the biggest statement I can make about Idara is that she came in here with a very unique skill set when it comes to motor, and also when it comes, IQ, motor, leadership capabilities. Don't talk about it so much, be about it. That's kind of how Idara has been, and what I really don't want her to do this year, because I don't necessarily think it's who she needs to be for our team, is the leader all the time. I think that, and I don't mean this in any type of way, but I think it's difficult for post players to be the leaders of a team. They don't have the ball in their hands all the time. They're not running your offense. But they're the anchor for what you do, if that makes sense. And I think Idara is the anchor of our team. She's the anchor of our defense. She's kind of the last line of defense. She's our communicator. She can see what's going on behind her, but she can't control everything because she's not a guard. She can't control when she touches the ball. Sometimes she can control her rebounding and her effort and all of that, but I think that she just needs to be who she is. She doesn't have to be something bigger and better than who she is. She's a constant for our team, and she's definitely the anchor for our team, and I just want her to have a good time. I want her to – she's always been someone that has appreciated the game and enjoyed playing it, and I want her to continue to have that type of vibe because I think it helps our team.
Sean?
There's a lot new with your team, whether it's new people or people in new roles. How do you feel about the culture and chemistry that exists within your team?
I think it's really good. I told somebody the other day I was talking to, they were trying to, I guess, scare me a little bit. And what do you got going on? You got players gone. What are you going to do with players gone? And I mean, that's kind of been the going theme. What are y'all going to do? And what I have enjoyed about this group is that they seem to carry the same expectation for themselves, to the point that I've had to tell a few of them, relax. We didn't win the conference in November last year. We were a work in progress. Like, where we were in January wasn't where we were in November. And I love the fact that this team has the same expectations. They don't walk around like we don't want to win. We're not the same. And I think they've put it on themselves, and I've enjoyed watching them grow. Our sophomores that were freshmen last year, a few of them played, a few of them didn't. Their growth has been exponential. I'm shocked by just how much better they are. Now, it may not show up in the first game. It may not show up in the second game, but I think eventually we're going to see that they put in a lot of work, and I'm thrilled for them. And I think this team is going to be fun to watch grow. We're definitely a work in progress, but they've been fun to coach. I mean, they've got a lot ahead of them.
Jerry?
Yeah, Coach, I just wanted to ask about the opener up in Lubbock. How strange is it going to be for you and your players to see Sydney walking out of the other dressing room?
It might be something that they notice warming up, but I think once the game starts, I mean, I don't know that you would necessarily pay attention to situations like that if you're competitive. I doubt that she will either. I mean, it's a highly competitive atmosphere that we'll be in. They have a ton of experience. They're returning, and I think it'll be the last thing we worry about once the ball is tipped.
What do you expect from the Red Raiders this year, Coach? What kind of team do they have?
Well, I mean, they have they have some changes, obviously, in their roster, but, they have a returning 3-year starter in Bailey Maupin. I think you have to start there with her, and it just means a lot, I think, to any program nowadays to have a young lady that has stayed with the program for this is her 4th year. So, I mean, that's not even normal anymore. So kudos to her. Again, you have to start with her and how she leads that team, but they also have 8 more seniors. So just a wealth of experience, and I think anytime you have that many seniors, most often there's a sense of urgency, so I would think that they're going to play with that. I think that they feel a sense like this is a year that they probably need to get to the tournament and need to get some things done, and I get that, but I'm excited about this group going down there and getting a taste of it. I think the road trip that we're taking from Lubbock to Houston will tell us a lot about ourselves, not necessarily from a win-loss column, but I think just where we are. What are our strengths and weaknesses? I have a feeling I know a few of them on both sides, and I think it'll be interesting to see if what we need to work on based on what I see in practice every day happens in a competitive game like that. And if it does, then I think we can probably pay attention to that a little bit more seriously when we get into practice than what we are right now. So, I mean, I look forward to, I hate to say this, but, I look forward to failures. And I don't mean that in any type of bad way. I don't want to lose, don't get me wrong, but I do look forward to being exposed because it tells you what you need to work on, and it gets you ready for conference play, and we're going to have plenty of opportunities for that this fall.
All right, that'll wrap things up. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank y'all. Have a good week.